Did you ever have this when you were growing up where like there would be a movie that you liked and then there'd
Yeah.
be some kind of like food tie-in at like the grocery store and it would like you try to be like stealth about it, but I'm just like, Mom, I think we need to get Teddy Grahams. And she's just like, why? And I'm just like, no reason. I just feel like eating Teddy Grahams. It's because like there's like a Page Master puzzle on the back.
All right, so Highlander 3.
Highlander 3, The Final Dimension, Highlander 3, The Sorcerer. I think there's another title for
There's
it too.
definitely another one.
Did that hold up for you, Adam?
Um, yes and no. Like I still enjoyed it quite a bit, but I think like I was in a special moment the first time I saw it where like the movie was a little bit more magical than it was on a repeat viewing, but I did enjoy it a lot. And I didn't realize that like all the stuff that like I loved kind of all happens in the last like 30 minutes. And the first hour takes a little bit of it needs to kind of wind up a little bit for me.
Coming off of Highlander 2, it felt a little tame, if you will.
Yeah.
But no, I enjoyed it a lot. I thought Christopher Lambert was really good. He just seems to be getting better as these are going on. I thought Mario Van Peebles seemed like he was having so much fun.
Yeah.
Which is a theme throughohout these movies. Like we keep walking away being like that. Connery seems like he's having a blast.
Yeah.
Mario Van Peebles seems like he's having a great time. So no, yeah, I thought it was fun.
I have to jump in and talk about this trivia that I read about this movie related to Mario Van Peebles because
I think it's the same. I think it's the same one I was tempted to just start the show with because I can't think of anything else. But please go ahead.
Is it about Guns N' Roses?
Yes, okay. That's all.
Okay, yeah, we need to dedicate at least a couple minutes to the Guns N' Roses backstory.
I have no idea what this is, so please present it.
Okay, so there's a lot of like branches to this story. So Mario Van Peebles was recruited by Christopher Lambert for Highlander, The Final Dimension, because they worked on the movie Gunman together and they really enjoyed working with one another. So Van Peebles is cast. The director of this movie, I think it's Andy Monahan. I can't remember the last name, but it's not Russell Mulcahy. But Andy Monahan is also a music video director. And a very well-established music video director. And he came to, one of the ways that he became prominent was because he directed a lot of like the Guns N' Roses Use Your Own Illusion type of music videos, like You Could Be Mine and things like that. So he wanted Guns N' Roses to be this movie's queen. And Axl Rose and Guns N' Roses, but more specifically just Axl Rose, said, yes, we will do this, but you have to fire Mario Van Peebles. And it's never been explained why Axl Rose had that as a condition, but because they were like, no, we have Mario Van Peebles, Axl Rose was like, well, then Guns N' Roses are not doing the movie.
What the hell?
I'd like to think that he was getting ready to score the movie and then he saw like the driving scene in the third act and he's just like, he's like, come on, Mario.
Yeah. I love to imagine Mario Van Peebles watching the first two Highlander movies at home and kind of watching them and going like, I can go bigger. I can go
more.
He's
just like, I'm gonna talk like this.
I love the way. All right, so because now we're really starting to solidify the Highlander lore with this one, right? We're really starting to solidify the formula. What is a Highlander movie? What are the staples that it's like a James Bond movie. Certain things got to have in a James Bond movie. Certain things got to have in a Highlander movie. But because this one resets to be a direct, my understanding is this is a direct sequel to the first one, right? Because the second one is so maligned and all that stuff. I still don't have a real good sense of what the lore is because we keep backing up and changing stuff. So it's like, I know that immortals are immortal. They know each other, except a lot of them don't know each other. They all have to fight for the prize.
They all think that they're the only one at a certain point, but then there's one that's just kind of in Nebraska and like they don't know.
Exactly. And there's always just another Highlander. And now and Mike, you're familiar with the show. Is this because this one comes out while the show is on, right?
Yeah, I think the show started in 92.
Yeah. Is it like an episode of the week? Like, is it like a Highlander of the week? Like he runs into a different Highlander or a different immortal? Like it's
so season. I think eventually it gets to that point.
okay.
Season 1, when they were still trying to figure it out, it would be maybe a Highlander every other week, and then he foils a bank robbery one episode.
Okay.
They didn't know what to do, but then eventually he's constantly running into other immortals.
Because this one especially, we're just chopping heads left and right. We're just like it's like 16 beheadings in the first 25 minutes. We're just going, and I was kept laughing at the idea of like Mario Van Peebles has these minions, and I kept thinking, why would you be a minion to another immortal? Because they're immortals too, right? The idea was that all three of he's got those two minions at the beginning, and all three of them are immortals. It's like, why would you be subject to another? Like this is where the wheels started, which is really funny to say after the second one. This is where the wheels started to come off for me a little bit, where I'm like, hold on a second, what are we doing?
But my daughters recently discovered Survivor.
Okay.
On Paramount Plus. So I will say on Survivor, so we've watched a lot of it. On Survivor, there are some people that will hitch their wagons to people that they think are going to get to the end.
It's a good point.
And that maybe that's their logic. They think Mario Van Peebles, this guy is going to be there in the end.
Are we beheading people on Survivor yet? Are we?
Oh, I'm still a little behind. We're watching old seasons.
Yeah. That's what the plus is for, is plus beheadings.
But yeah, overall, I thought this one was good, but it was very much like it was kind of just a retread of the first one. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, let's go back to the formula. Let's go back to like, well, okay, he's a Highlander. He lost his love. There's a lot more of that somber romance to this one. You know what I mean? Until we get to the Mario Van Peebles of it all, you know, and all that.
It was kind of like, it reminded me too of like a couple things where one is, you know, all the callbacks to like the first movie where they were course correcting from the deviations from the second,
right,
were very much like what George Lucas does with Star Wars, where he's just like they're echoes of each other and stuff like that.
Poetry,
like we're gonna have a car thing, and like we're gonna have like, you know, Deborah Kara Unger is basically just Roxanne Hart, like Redux and stuff like that. Although it also, this movie kind of, it came out in 94, I think, internationally, but like in 95 at the beginning of the year in the US. And it reminded me of another movie from 1995 in the regard of Batman Forever, where it's basically like the end of the movie, it's like Connor's happy and like he's got a girlfriend and he's got a little kid or like a sidekick and stuff like that. And so I don't know, but like you had the observation of all observations about his son, and I would like you to take the floor about.
I have so many questions about the son, but I'll put the image up on the screen here. Why does he have an autographed photo of his son on his desk at work? Now, listen, we all, you know, like you know, some of us, Mike, we have kids, right? Kid draws you a picture, right? Can, you know, write your name, put your name and the date on it. You know, you drew a picture for your mom when you were a little kid and she still has it, you know, and like, oh, you know, it's Adam, you know,
this is like an audition photo.
Yeah, it's clearly like the actor's headshot, like, and it says like, to dad, love something McLeod. Like,
yeah, it's like I got a lot of these to sign, so I got.
But he's got this autograph. It's not like his kid drew him a picture. He's got an autograph. So like I get like set deck is there that day. They're like, well, what do we do to make this seem a little bit more inviting? We don't have, you know, the Russell Mulcahy scope of the original two pictures. This movie looks a lot cheaper than the other ones. You know, this is much more of a, you know, this is not quite as operatic a production. So it's like, all right, what do we do here? Well, you need a picture of his kid. Well, we don't need pictures of the kid. Well, we got his headshot, right? Like, get this headshot. To dad, love, full name of your son. Like,
I can only imagine they were working backwards. Like they needed Mario Van Peebles' character to realize he had a son and maybe know his name.
The son is such a strange inclusion because he's there for, and the story just leaves him behind at some point. And at one point he gets a call and he's like, you have to pick up your son from the airport. And
well, that's
like,
my favorite thing too. Like he drops off his kid with like his friend that like we've never seen before. And he's just like, Jeff, you know, Jeff's gonna watch my son.
Yeah.
It's just like, what?
We didn't know who Jeff was because there was no autographed picture from Jeff.
Well, it's the same thing with the not Sean Connery guy at the beginning, where it's like, well, he's not going to be Scottish, but he's going to be Japanese, I guess. He's a Japanese master. Same thing. Okay, got it. You'll be my mentor now. You know, it's very much rehashing, retreading, you know, but with adding so many little sort of side. Now, was this one more well received? Like, was this better received than the previous one? I didn't really look it up. I don't know too much about Highlander fandom.
From my memory, it was, so I looked at the grosses, it grossed less than 2. 2 was the one that grossed the most domestically, but I think that was because Highlander built up a fan base, right, and like it paid off with the sequel. It's not because the sequel was good and people were going back or anything.
Because this one is still pretty expensive. I looked, it's like between, I mean, Wikipedia, who knows? Wikipedia says between 26 and 34 million.
And for the 90s, that's basically like 50 million now. Yeah. So yeah. So I know that's one thing I like about these movies is that there is you know, a lot of craft involved in it. Even in this one where it's like a junky dimension movie, it's like
this one is a lot junkier.
Yeah, I do like that when they have like so many quickenings in the first act of this movie. And I like that I always wondered because like the lightning kind of goes all over the place, and there's like a scene where like the lightning is hitting like Mountain Dew cans, and I'm just like, if you were to drink the quickened Mountain Dew, what would happen?
There's your product tie-in.
Yeah, this is the one that introduces the idea that if you kill another immortal, you get their powers, right? That Mario Van Peebles becomes like a shapeshifter. You know, he becomes Shang Tsung now because he kills the other guy.
Good call on Shang Tsung.
Which has never happened before. That's what I talked before about the lore. I'm like, all right, I'm still not sure what the rules are here. I'm not sure what we're doing with the rules, because we do seem to remake it up every time we start. Like like every one of these movies is kind of a restart, because even 2 is kind of we like reintroduce Sean Connery, we change some of the backstory, we change some like it's still, they're still revving the engine trying to get the franchise started. Even 3 movies in, it seems like they're still doing it, redoing it, adding more without any kind of clear continuity. And which again, you know, I mean, like I said last time about story, like in this franchise, I'm not as worried about the story, but because we are kind of we're trying to build out a world here. You know, I'm still kind of just like, so what are we doing? It's like Highlander 4, which I don't know anything about, is going to be like, are they resetting it again? Like, is this a continuation again? Is this more, you know? So I'm curious to see about that, because I would still really like to know. I think maybe I just need to watch the show. I don't know. Maybe that might be it.
This franchise has cop problems. Like, I feel like these movies would be 10% better if they just like got rid of the cop subplots.
Yeah, stop having them get arrested.
What's with the ADR on the cops in this movie?
There was a lot of ADR in this movie. This was specifically, I noticed this one a lot.
Yeah. They sound like they're out of like the New Line dubbed Jackie Chan movies. Yeah. So it's weird though, because like, you know, going into this movie after the first viewing of it, I was like, oh, this is my favorite. And now I just kind of like don't know what my ranking through 3 would be at all. Yeah. Like, because I like certain aspects of all of them the most, and I like certain aspects of all of them the least. So it's like they kind of all meet in the middle right now for me. How much did you miss Sean Connery in this one? Do you think like, because I definitely had moments where I'm like, oh, this is where he would have shown up.
Yeah, for sure I did.
Yeah, you definitely feel that a little bit.
If I'm being asked to watch a Highlander movie, you got to have a scene where a man gets fitted for a beautiful suit. And if you don't have that, what are we doing? Another part of the Highlander lore that I need to see sort of returned to and paid off, you know? Like, I need to see a man get a fine suit. All right, well, then we'll be back next week with the last entry in our Highlander series, Highlander Endgame from 2000, right?
Rob, are you able to do lightning special effects on here?
Maybe. I can try. Until next time.
There can be only one.
I think a better intro would be like he's like at a dig or something, and then she just like goes up behind him and like wraps her arms around him, and she's like, hey, and then he's like, get off me. And And then he's just like, aren't you married? And she's just like, oh, to that treaty lawyer? No. Blah. And then they get together in the first scene. Like, don't delay it. Just get together in the first scene. Like, that's, dinosaurs are, in society now. I don't care. I just want Sam Neill and Laura Dern to get together.